Alright, so welcome to the second U5000 repair attempt. This obviously is the second board. Again, it has no remote board or harness, no neck board or harness. Looking over, it is completely intact except the linearity coil is broken. I don't want to say the coil is broken, actually it's just the top part of it. If you look, let's see, if you look here on this one, you can see this top part of here, it's just a glued on little ferret coil, if you will, and obviously it's busted off of here, so in all likelihood this is perfectly fine. It's just the top part's broken off, but I'll replace it anyway. That's the first thing that I've noticed. Everything else looks to be physically intact, but there are some bad solder joints and such. The caps all look okay. They don't look none of them look like they're bulging or about to burst. There's no missing components. Everything looks like it's fairly general good condition, except for being a bit dirty. The switch mode power supply IC U101 is in a socket. That's somewhat rare to see, but hey, it's there. So let's turn it over here and you'll see a couple of these solder joints I'm talking about. You can see that on the main connector here, where it's plugged in the 15 right now, but it was plugged in the 25. But you can see here these bad solder joints. Let me keep this under the light and I'll zoom in actually. There you go. That you got, let's get my pointer here. This one is completely cracked and burned. Where I lost you here. There we go. This one's cracked and opened up and kind of burned. This one's cracked. This one's cracked. This one's cracked a bit, slightly. I don't know if you can tell on camera there. Let's see. Yeah, this is a very common issue. I didn't really have this problem on the other chassis, but you can see clearly that this is cracked and broken. Yeah, that's no good. I wonder if I could even probably wiggle the pin and have it be loose. Is it the second one? Yeah, it's the second one here. A little bit. Yeah, you can see it moving slightly. So we'll have to reflow all that, and but everything else, let's zoom out. It doesn't look burned or broken up or cracked anywhere, or yeah, it looks fairly good. So I don't see any previous work. It all looks original. It looks like someone's changed this capacitor here. Yeah, that's been changed. So again, just like the other one, someone has strategically replaced a couple of caps, but that's not a big deal. So let's go through and do some testing. I have a feeling that this being burned and being broken on these solder joints is probably going to cause some issues. So let's do some testing here. Again, this was advertised as not working, just like the other one. So first things first, let's put it on a diode checker. And we'll test our HOT just like last time. And we'll do black on center. And uh-oh. Shorted. Well, yeah, that's a goner. If I can even get a good connection on there. There we go. Yep, HOT is a goner, which again I'm not surprised with the video selection or the frequency selection pins being bad. I'm not surprised that that's the case. Let's test our SMPS chip. Again, to test this, you want to have it with power supply section away from you, and we should have. I don't know if I'll be able to do this here. In frame. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Okay. So again, these two pins here should read like a diode, and then you move over another set, and these should be a diode. This should be, what was it, 1.7 or something or other? Yeah, 1.7 and 1.1, 1.0. Yep. So our switching mode power supply chip should be good. Or what about our voltage regulator here? Let's test that. That should be, this is our center here. And we'll go to One leg. That's good. This should be 1.1 or 1.0. Yeah, that's good. So our voltage regulator is good. Our switch mode power supply chip is good. HOT is bad. I'm going to venture a guess that it's probably going to be just the HOT because of the bad pins on the video selector connector. And everything else looks okay. So, oh, let's test our Q703, which is here. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. And we'll do negative and the center on the base, and then the, okay. Well, that's good. Other side should be like 1 point something or other. 1.2, yep. So our Q703 is good. I think we'll end up reflowing all of this nastiness and replacing the HOT, and I'll bet you it'll work. But I'm still going to do, of course, the necessary stuff like cap kits, and I got another cap kit, another flyback. So I'm going to replace the. I'm going to do all that work. I'm going to replace the caps and the flyback afterward. I'm going to change the HOT. I'm going to reflow the header pins for the video selection connection and do a bit more prodding and testing to make sure a couple other stuff is okay. A couple other items are okay. But I'll bet you that it's down to, oh, I got to change out the linearity coil. But I'll bet you anything that it's after reflowing these pins and changing the HOT, I'll bet it'll fire up. I'm crossing my fingers because everything else should be okay. Now, unlike the other chassis, this resistor was open, but on this one it should be 10K. Oh, let's help to put that in the frame. Yep, 9.32K. C106, you can't really read it because it's a capacitor through ohms, but if we go to the pins or the legs, it should be 10K as well. Yep, because you're reading off the pads from the resistor. And then C112, when you tested the connections on it, it was open completely, but on this one, 2.4 megs. So yeah, I think everything is going to be okay. Just changing the HOT and reflowing those header pins will probably get it up and running. So let's see. Actually, do I want to cut away here, or do I want to keep it all on camera? I guess I'll do everything on camera. There's no reason not to do all of it on camera. I guess for the sake of not having a 3-hour video again, but this shouldn't be that difficult. So let's turn on my desoldering gun here. Get my fan going here for the fumes. Soldering iron's up and running. You can see here that these wires are cut. Somebody just figured they'd just cut these wires for some reason. So for testing, I'm actually going to have to strip these off and put them back in the neck board. And then when I get the new, it won't be a big deal because I'll put the new flyback on. I really don't like to change parts, working parts out for other parts just for the sake of changing them. I don't like that because if this is working, I don't like changing it out just for the sake of changing it out if this is working. However, sometimes these are cracked. This one actually appears to be in good shape, but for the sake of preservation, I'll go ahead and just put a new one on. So, all right, so this stuff is heating up. In the meantime, let me grab a new HOT. I got a handful here. I think I have, what, 4 here, so hopefully I don't burn through all of them. Let's get one ready here. There we go. All right. In the meantime, we'll take this screw out. Desolder this. All right. falls right out. I love this thing. Get you one of these if you don't have it. You got to make sure though, you don't want to put it back on the holder without cleaning it out, because you'll get deposits in there that won't heat up enough to get loose. So after I use it, every time after I use it, I always clean it out with one of the cleaners, and then I'll put it back on the stand or the holder. All right. Yep. So let's test it out of circuit. Make sure it's not a problem with the chassis. You always want to double check every component while it's out of circuit as well. So, all right. If we go here, you can just touch the back part here. This is the same. If I do this, you'll see that's normal. It's a dead short, so you can touch the back part of it. I'll touch this leg. 0.163, that's not good. Yeah, and that's shorted. So this one's definitely shot. You can see here on this one, if I go to the base and touch the leg, should be 0.5 and 0.5 each side. Actually, I think it's just one side. This should be open. Yes, that's open. This side should be 0.5. There you go. Yeah, both of these will read 0.5 once it's in circuit. All right, so we can take this and throw it away. Goodbye. Take our new one and bend the leg out, fold it back. There we go. Should look like that. And we'll put this back in here. Get our screw in there. Get our nut and our tweezers. Hold it in place. You don't want to over tighten this, just snug, call it good. And we'll flip it over and we'll solder our points in. Give it time to flow, that's good. And you want to be mindful after you get this in here that the legs don't stick out too far. So I always trim these up after I'm done. Alright, that's good. So we'll take our cutters here and just do a quick snip. In the trash they go. Alright, so then we'll double check this again. Zoom back out. And we'll go. Alright, negative to here. 0.5 and 0.5. Perfect. So nothing else is shorted, because if something else was shorted, it would still read shorted. The pads don't read shorted. We didn't check that, but obviously they don't read shorted anymore. So after changing the HOT, I think it's good there. Let's do some reflow on these bad pads here. Yes, that's tough. What we'll do is the best thing to do is to actually try and get rid of the original solder. Yeah, that original crusty solder on there is not good. Yeah. My tip is too small on my desoldering gun to get around there. Alright, looking at this, yeah, that just came right, yeah, see, I can push it down, push it out, it was not good, so let's just do some reflow here. Well, reflow is to remove the old solder, put new solder on, but I'll just say let's add some new solder. How about that? Sometimes the solder doesn't like to stick to the pad if it's been burned up, but that's not too bad there. That actually worked out somewhat well. That's not too bad. So we'll keep on going down the line here. That one's okay. This one didn't look too well. Not all of them were bad, but it's always a good idea to, if one or two are bad, then might as well do the rest of them. That one's okay. This one's a bit heated. This one was cracked. And this one was cracked. Alright, that's much better. Alright, so let's change our linearity coil. Looks like there's 3 pads on it. Alright. And hopefully just pull it right out. Let me clean this real quick. Alright. Got that glue on there. Like I say, more than likely this would have been just fine, but you know, aesthetically speaking, clip this glue. Try to anyway. There we go. Okay, it's off. In the garbage it goes. It's going to be fun trying to replace it because the glue is right over the hole with the pin. That's why I couldn't get it out of there. You can't just burn this glue either. It's an epoxy. This may turn out more problematic than I had expected. There we go. Okay, got it. There's my pin, the rest of it there. Okay, now I got 3 holes there. That should be good. Well, you can't really tell, but yeah, it's free. All right, so now I have let's see, this other U5000 spare parts board. Obviously, I have it's busted off at the bottom. So again, it's just that piece that was missing. It's just a little ferrite piece. But you can see here that it's broken on this one, so I can't use that. But I do have a K7400 spare parts board, and it's broken too. But it's at least intact more than the other one, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one, and then I'll put some epoxy or something in here to keep it from moving. But for now, I'm gonna use this one. So. Right out. try and get this lined up here. Here we go. I want to bend these legs straight. That should be okay. Let's try this again. I gotta clean this one out. There we go. Jackpot. Just some to keep it started in there. And again, these legs are kind of long, so I'm going to chop them off here when I'm done. Okay, mission accomplished. I guess now it's time to assemble everything. And see if it works. I'm betting that it will. Although it's a dangerous bet, because you never know. Alright, put all my stuff away here real quick. And we'll go ahead and turn off the desoldering gun. And what was I going to do? Something, oh yeah, let's grab our protector piece here. And a word of advice, if you're trying to work on these and you got to take this off of here, just right here where the lip is, push down on the board and it'll separate. I don't know if you can see here, it'll separate, and then push down on the board while you lift up on the plastic backside, and it will just slide right off. That's how you do that. Alright, so yeah, okay, where I've got the remote board. So cut this. And yeah, the connector has seen better days, but it should still work. Alright. You know what? I'm going to use this side for the chassis connection. Oh, it's broken too, son of a bitch. Huh. This side. No wonder this is an extra. This must have been the one that came in that 5000 that was cracked in half. I'll bet you that's exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, yeah, right here is where it's busted, and that's where it would connect to. So, that's okay. I'll get it on here. Let's see. Alright, so there's that. We got this one there. We got this one here. Nope, that one goes one over. Because this one goes there. Nope, I had that wrong. I mean, I had it right the first time. This does go there. Well, I don't want to damage anything, but I'll bet you that this is correct here. Just get that on there. Get rid of that. And then we'll plug this in. Got it. Okay, I think that should work. Looking at the way this is lined up, I think that's good, but I don't want those touching in there, so let's slide this in there. If I can do that. Yeah. Not a permanent solution. You know what? I think I have another harness in the stock room. Let's I don't want those touching. Wonder if I could get that other one, or I could make this work. There we go. That's much better. Then we'll put this one right there. Oh. Sorry, bear with me. There we go. That's good. Okay. Hurrah. Oh, I just realized half of that probably wasn't in frame. Sorry. Okay, so we got our remote board situation squared away. Neck board. Plug our neck board in. Okay, now we're going to have to fix this. I don't have my wire strippers here, so I have to get creative. That's too much. Toss that away. There we go. It's a bit too much. That should be good there. Now we want to tin this because it's going to go into the focus pin. Get some flux on there, not too much, because you don't want to make it too big with the added solder. And then we'll just, that should be good enough just to keep it from fraying, just about perfect. Alright, now this I don't have a connector for, so again we're going to have to solder that to the back of the G2 pin here, which is this guy. Add some solder to this, then we'll add the wire. Perfect. Oops, sorry, I keep doing this stuff off frame. My apologies. Alright. Again, just temporary for testing. So I think we're good to go to get this on the tube and see what happens. Yeah. That's awful short. Well, crapola. Gonna have to break that off of there. We can get some more slack on it. Hopefully that should be enough. We'll find out. Put our focus wire in there. Got it. I'm not going to put it under here because of the limited length. And one last inspection to make sure our pins aren't touching for our remote board. Doesn't look like they are. And I have another one of these harnesses. I'll change it out. I didn't realize it was broken when I grabbed it. But for now, we'll just leave it the way it is for testing. So I think we're ready. let's get our tube. We'll have it on 15 kilohertz because that's what I have the MK1 board set up for here. So let's set this aside, and I'll get the side camera set up, and we'll see how it works. One moment. All right, we're all hooked up. Anode, neck, yoke, ground, and video. Count to 5. I have not turned it on yet. I have not made any pre-adjustments. So sharing the knowledge with me of whether or not it works. Let's find out. Fingers crossed. Nope. HOT just blew. So we got something else going on. So here we go. Back to the drawing board. Stand by. So I just spent about the last 3 hours combing through and checking everything over and over and over. I could not find anything wrong. No bad or open resistors, no bad or open diodes, nothing shorted. I couldn't find anything wrong with this. And it all turned out to be bad HOTs. The original HOT, of course, we know was bad, but I put one of these in there, a 2SC3688. And these are equivalent to the 2SC3686 that used to be in the chassis. But as you can see, the one I have in there is quite different than this. And what it is, it's an FJL6920. And these are more modern equivalent to these. You saw a few moments ago, I put a new one in and it immediately blew. So I went through 3 more of these. I checked everything and tried it again, blow, tried it again, blow, tried it again, blow. I got frustrated. And it turns out that I don't know if these are counterfeit or if they're just a bad lot. I really can't say, because the 3688 should be compatible with the original 3686 that was in here from the factory. But apparently either these are bad or they're counterfeit or something. But I had 2 of these on hand, which are an equivalent. I put this in there and it fired right up. And it ran for an hour with no problem. So I don't know what's going on, but it looks like the actual problem with this was the burned up header pins on the selection for the resolution. And let's see, it's been like 3 hours since I made the first part of the video. You can see I also did a cap kit. I did the flyback, I did a cap kit. You can see the new flybacks installed. I forget if I showed it on the first part or not. But new flyback, all new cap kit. Cap kit, of course, didn't fix it. Everything was fine. I couldn't find a single thing wrong, and it all turned out to be just a bad HOT replacement. I put that FJL6920 in there, and boom, it came right to life with no problems. So let's turn it on and check it out. Oops, sorry. There you go. So 3 hours of head scratching and banging my head on the workbench, and turned out to be just a bad part. So I can't say for sure if those are bad from stock or faulty or what, but as you can see, it's working with that other one. So if you need to replace your HOT on these 7400, 75, U2000, U5000, I would go with the FJL6920. So, yep, that was all it was. Bad solder on the header pins and a bad HOT. But at least now it's been rebuilt, should last a good while. So, yep, that's 2 for 2. I need to do some color adjustment. It's a bit too blue. Let's turn the blue down a bit. Yeah, that's better. Well, that's it, guys and gals. I appreciate you watching. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. As you can see, it's a beautiful image. Let me turn this off, and we'll switch over to 25 kilohertz. What you have to do here is disconnect this and move this jumper over to the other selection. There we go. And we'll hook up our test pattern generator. And again, with the test pattern generator, the resolution, when you go to medium res, it changes the position of the image all around. So I have to do some readjustments here, but we'll turn it. It's on medium res, selected to medium res, and we'll turn it on. And let's see what it looks like now. Well, came on. That's good. Oh, but we got collapse. Interesting. Let's go back to 15 and make sure that's still good. Looks like I may have some more troubleshooting to do. Okay. Turn it off. Hook up 15 again. Let's make sure we're still good on 15. Okay, we got it moved back over. Got that hooked back up. Alright, let's make sure we're still good on standard res. Yes, okay, so it looks like we got some troubleshooting to do on the 25 kilohertz selection. So stand by, I'll see what I can figure out. Well, I think I found the issue, and it's totally my fault. You saw before that the vertical linearity coil was broken, the top half was busted off. So I robbed one from another chassis, but I robbed it from a K7400. The K7400 is standard res only. That explains why this worked for standard res and not medium, because the medium res one has three, it's a dual winding. One winding for standard res, one winding for medium res. So you can see here that I've got a wire going to this tab, two wires going to this tab, and a wire going to this tab. But as you can see on this one, there's no wires going to the middle tab. So it only had a single winding for the standard res side. So that's my fault, my mistake. So I robbed this one from the other damaged in shipping U5000, the one that has the broken base here. I'll just hot glue this in place or get some epoxy and fix it later. But for now I'm going to get it installed, and I guarantee you this will probably fix my issue. So this was my fault. So let's get this soldered in and see how it goes. And I hope this lines up a lot easier than the last time. Probably won't, especially since the top, or since the base is broken. And of course it's the wrong hole that's empty. I'm not going to fire up the desoldering gun just for this one little hole I have to open up here. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Nothing is ever easy. Don't let anyone tell you that it is. There we go. Alright, and we're through. It's not pretty, but we're through. Alright, let's solder this in. So I was just sitting here looking at the traces, following the traces from the standard res side to the medium res side. I'm like, okay, this goes there, and I saw this jumps over to here, to this. There's a capacitor right here. This pad and this pad are a capacitor, which is this guy. And I found the other leg of this capacitor, when it goes to here, goes to this pad, which goes to the linearity coil. I'm like, now wait a minute, there's no connection from this pad to the coil. That post has nothing on it, and dun dun dun, there's my, red flag. So I can almost guarantee that this will work. So if I flip this over to the 25 side, and I have this disconnected, if you hook this up, if you have this in 25 and you leave this hooked up, you'll take out the HOT. So don't do that. So always make sure you disconnect this and when you put this over to medium res. And you can actually see here it says, maybe it's going to be hard for you to see actually, but it says CN 15K right there and CN 25K right there. So that's how you tell. So yeah, let's get this. I'll get the camera on the tripod and we'll hook it up, and I'll bet you it'll work. So stand by. All right, so we're all set up, ready to go. I counted to 5: anode, neck, yoke, ground, and video. And we've got our test pattern generator here. I've got it set to medium resolution. I'll go ahead and turn it on. We're disconnected from here. We're set to 25 on the selector, and I'll put the tripod. I'm sorry, I'll put the camera back on the tripod. Ooh. And if this works, I'll be happy. Oh, you know what? It helps if you plug in the power. All right, here we go. Oh, came to life. That's good. Hopefully we did not have a horizontal collapse. There you go. Imagine that. Put the right parts in. It works. It works. I don't know. I can't laugh and talk at the same time. So let's fix this here. H position. There we go. Vertical position. Let's do height. And brightness. Adjustment to there. We'll turn our contrast. Yeah, that's way too much. There we go. I got a loose blue connection on my test pattern generator harness, so that's much better there. So here we go. Let's cycle through. There it is, RGB. That's medium res. So it's a miracle. Put the right parts in, it works just fine. So I didn't even think of that. Didn't even cross my mind. But anyway, yeah, about 3 hours last night going over this, couple hours this morning, got it going. So now, just for shits and grins, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to switch this over to standard res. I'm going to hook up my vertical sweep connector. I'm going to swap my jumper over to 15. And let's make sure 15 still works. Yep, there it is. And you can see how we had the medium resolution centered. And now, as you see, standard is not centered. So each resolution is vastly different configuration as far as the settings. But so if I move this over, shrink it down a bit. Oh, that's good. Width. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I need to adjust my focus. It looks like a little bit. Not sure how that got out of whack, but. There we go. Beautiful. So, there you have it, folks. U5000 number 2, brought back from the dead. So, hopefully this helped out those who might need it. And I appreciate you watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to. No pressure. And yeah, thanks again. See you next time.